Let's talk about the effect of thermal energy um, in the the different changes between the states of matter. The change from we said change from solid state to liquid state. It's called the melting, and it's happened by uh, heating or giving heat energy from liquid to gas vaporization by giving heat energy or thermal energy. From gas to liquid, the opposite process of vaporization condensation by taking out the heat energy from the matter, and from liquid state to solid state, freezing, the opposite process of the melting, is happening by taking out the heat energy or by cooling. Okay, any material has melted certain melting point and certain boiling point. Okay, for example, water, its melting point or freezing point is 0 Celsius. When the solid, when the ice takes heat energy until its temperature reaches to 0 Celsius, it starts to change from solid state to liquid state, and it's called melting. And also when the water loses its heat energy and its temperature decreases until it reaches to 0 Celsius, so it freezes and it changes into the solid state or the ice. The same in the vaporization or in the boiling and in the condensation. When the any liquid reaches to its boiling point, for example, the water, the boiling point of the water is 100 Celsius. When the water takes heat energy until its temperature reaches to 100 Celsius, it starts to change from the liquid state to gaseous state. And when the water vapor, its temperature decreases until reaches to 100 Celsius, the gases start to condense and change into water again. Let's discuss the role of heat energy or thermal energy on these different changes between the different states. First, we will learn now how the thermal energy plays an important role in changing states from one to another. Once the particles gain heat, they start moving quickly and away from each other. When the particle loses the the heat energy or the thermal energy, they start moving slowly and get closer to each other. So put these sentences in your mind when we discuss the role of heat energy. When the particles gain heat energy, they start moving quickly. When the particle loses the heat energy, or when the material becomes colder or loses the heat energy, the particles moves slowly. For example, the change that happened between the water states. Let's discuss this change in more details. Here we have the water in the solid state, which is ice. Here we have the water in the liquid state, and here we have the water in the gaseous state. In the solid state, we said the particles, they are closer to each other and they move, uh, their movement is vibrational motion around its, or in vibrational motion on its position. When the solid particles gains heat energy, the particles are held firmly in place, but they vibrate. When they get heat energy, the particles gain more energy until reaches to the melting point. The vibrational motion become stronger, or the vibration uh, becomes faster and stronger until they break apart when the material or when the water reaches to its melting point. So it becomes a liquid state. The gases or the steam or the water vapor. When the particles of the liquid have more heat energy or enough heat energy, takes heat energy until reaches to the boiling point, they break free. They are moving very quickly and moving in all direction and changes into gases. Let's summarize what we said before. When the ice heated or gains heat energy in the solid state, the particles will gain more energy, so they move around each other instead of vibrational motion, and the ice becomes water, the liquid state. Okay, so the heat energy makes the vibrational motion more faster until they become free to move around each other. Here, at this point, of course, in the melting point, the particles moves around each other and changes into liquid state. When the water heated or gains more heat energy until it reaches to its boiling point, the particles of the water will move more freely. Its movement becomes faster and faster. The, the movement of each particle becomes faster and faster and faster, and becomes more freely and in all directions instead of moving around each other, and the water becomes water vapor or gaseous state or